Childcare in the state of Mississippi is a very controversial issue. Being working parents in the state of Mississippi, you have to decide whether or not you're going to stay at home with your children or if you're going to go to work and pay for daycare. Because even if you have a relative to watch your kids, you still have to pay them. If you have somebody to come in and watch your kids and stay at the house with them, you're going to have to pay them also. And you also have out of the home daycares that charge you to keep your kids too. Either way, daycare is a very touchy subject in the state of Mississippi. I did some research on care.com and I found out that there are plenty of nannies that will come to your house and watch your kids for you for an estimated amount of between $150 and $200 a week. Sometimes these nannies include cooking and cleaning in the basement, and sometimes they include just watching your child. So you have to ask yourself, can I afford this? Is this, going to be the best for my household, or do I need to pay the average daycare center $90 to $100 a week to watch my children? Most daycares like TLC and other daycares have a program where if you have more than one child, you can get a multiple child discount rate, and that also saves you a little money also. So being low income parents, we have to sometimes rely on the government. And relying on the government means that you have to go in and, apply for government assistance, such as food stamps, child care, welfare, and Medicaid. But Medicaid and food stamps, they're both, government provided. If you apply for them, you can pretty much get them as soon as you apply if your income and situation meets the necessary requirements. But child care is a little different. With child care, you have to apply. At this moment, the state of Mississippi has 3,000 children that's waiting to, be approved for child care assistance. The funds are limited and not everyone, qualifies for child care. And this raises the questions to parents on whether or not one should stay at home or one should go to work or they should try to fit the daycare bill. Daycares are plenty in the area, so finding a good daycare is pretty much easy to do. You just gotta go in, check out the facilities, make sure that they are safe for the children, find out what they're feeding the children. Well, sort of like their ADLs, their activities of daily living, are they being met? Do they help them brush their teeth if they get there early enough in the morning? Are they going to help them with their homework, when they get from school? There's a lot of different things you need to know about daycare when you're going in. Me, I would like to pick a daycare that maybe focuses around the age group of my children. I, don't think that a daycare should have a lot of kids aging from 0 to 12 years old. If you're going to focus me, I think you should have focus on the babies, or you should have focus on the older children. You shouldn't, have a variety of different kids because all kids need different things, and your daycare providers should know exactly what each child is going to need. Okay, and let's talk about educating the children while they are at daycare. Would you like for your daycare to be certified teachers? Because even though the state of Mississippi has their own requirements, for its rules and regulations to open up and setting up daycares and guidelines they have to follow, not all daycares are required to have certified teachers on staff. I went in and I Googled and did some background check on the certification. You only have to be certified through the state of Mississippi to be a child care provider, which only takes 6 weeks for the course. You don't have to have a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree to open up a child care or to be certified. So if you want your kids to focus more on education and to be, properly trained and taught while they're at daycare, I would advise you to, send them to a daycare where the teachers are a little more educated. And sometimes it doesn't take a well-educated person to, educate a child at the young age, because parents are the first teachers. And most parents are not as educated as the people that we want our children to be around. So we got to kind of, try to stay open-minded. And then what about their outdoor facilities that they have? Are the playgrounds safe? What type of surrounding is it for the kids? Are there, any type of child molesters or predators in the nearby areas? You have to go in and Google and do some research and find out, where exactly is your daycare located? Is it in a good area? Also find out what their curriculum is like. Find out, do they take trips? Are they involved in the community? what all, talk to some parents that already have kids going there. And then also, you got to take into consideration if you're going to decide whether or not you want your kids to stay at home. Some people homeschool their children to avoid the high cost of daycare. To me, I did it on like an average basis. I went in and I added up $90 a week. That's $360 a month for one child. Okay, $360 a week. That's not including food or diapers or anything else that you got to decide for your child. Okay, so if you're only making $800 a month, you got to ask yourself, if it's $500 a month that I'm bringing in worth my child being gone from a daycare. When I went in and interviewed a lady at the daycare, she told me we spend more time with the children than their parents. And you got to think about it. They do. They're at the daycare sometimes 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. That's 40 hours a week. Being working parents, we only get to see them between the hours of 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock before they go to bed. I know we don't, plan it because everybody can't stay home with their children. So sometimes you have to put your kids in daycare. But what I advise all parents to do is to do what's best for your situation. Get good data about child care, about stay-at-home child care, nannies coming into your home, and also about sending your children into the daycare environment. Because I know that the risk of disease goes up because I researched and did some research from the Center for Disease Control. Children that go to daycare do have a 10-to-1 more likely ratio of getting sick than the ones that stay at home. You can't prevent your child from getting sick by keeping them at home because diseases are everywhere you go. But you got to look at it. If your child is a sickly child or have a weakened immune system, it wouldn't be best to send your child to daycare. So not only is daycare expensive, not only do we not have a lot of good daycare, assistance and child care assistance in the state of Mississippi, we do still have other options to try to do. We have early Head Start programs. We have daycare centers that, go off of your income. One of the daycare centers that go off of your income are funded by the Mississippi Department of Human Services. And on the MDHS site, they have a form where you can go in and you can fill it out, and you have to send in your check stubs, you have to send in your children's social security card and birth certificates and tell them why you need child care. Just explain to them your situation, that you don't have anybody at home to keep your children. Let them know that daycare is a must because no matter what the situation is, somebody has to keep kids. Whether it's at home with their mother, at a daycare, a nanny coming in and keeping them, or them going to somebody's home, or they're going to watch the kids for you while they're at home. Child care is a very, very big issue, and we want to make sure that our kids are taken care of. So I advise all parents that before you sign your child up for daycare, do research. Go to care.com, Mississippi Department of Human Services. Go to YouTube, research the local, daycare centers and talk to other parents that have put their kids in daycare and parents that have kept their children at home, and just weigh the pros and the cons of daycare versus staying at home. Because there are pros and cons to every situation. I'm pro daycare, and I'm also pro staying at home with your kids. I tell everyone to do the best for your situation and do the best for your children. Thank you.